10 clone fragrances that are as good as the originals. Hey guys, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman, and it's time for your dose of some fragrance content. Now, the title of today's video is called 10 clone fragrances that are as good as the original. But I'm going to put that into a little bit of a perspective. I'm not saying that they're exactly as good as the original fragrances that they have been inspired by, but when you price in everything, when you put into perspective their price points, their standalone price point, the price difference between them and the original fragrances, when you put in perspective their performance and their standalone quality, I think at the end of the day they are as good, if not even a better deal than the original fragrances that they have been inspired by. And I'm going to start today's video with a few fragrances that feel a little bit more on the fresher side. And I'm going to start with one that's been talked about a lot so far this year, comes from the brand of French Avenue, and it's called Vulcan Feu. Now this fragrance of course is heavily inspired by God of Fire by Stephanie Humbert Lucas, and it's highly regarded as one of the best, if not the best clone of God of Fire that you can get at the moment. And I can pretty much acknowledge that because I think French Avenue have done a fantastic job when it comes to designing this scent and how close it smells to the original fragrance, how of high quality it smells, how it performs and all that. This is a fresh mango based fragrance. It's for those of you who love the note of mango. It has some warmth, some spiciness, there's some ginger in here, there's a bit of vanillic sweetness on the dry down, you'll get some ouds, maybe some musks as well. Overall this is a unisex scent that I personally find leaning a little bit to the feminine side, but as an alternative, as a clone of God of Fire, this is absolutely superb. The quality is very high. And another area where this excels is the performance, because I think it performs at least on par, if not even better than the original fragrance. And when you price in the difference, the price difference, and when you put into perspective the bottle size here, which is 100 milliliters instead of the 50 that you get with the original fragrance, for all those reasons, I think Vulcan Feu is as good of a deal, as good of a fragrance as the original, even if not even a little bit better. Usually around here in Europe this costs somewhere between 40 to 50 euros, so we're looking at about 50 to 60 dollars as a price tag, which is a lot lower than the original fragrance. The next one comes from the brand of Dumont, and it's called Nitro Red. This is probably their most well-known fragrance. This smells like Rosassi Havas. This smells like Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua. And it's a very nice, very sweet, fresh and youthful fragrance for those of you who like bubblegummy type of scents, for those of you who like scents with strong performance, with all-day performance, with a strong projection and a high complement factor, as long as it suits your age. For example, I personally feel a little bit too old for this type of scents right now, but someone younger than me can wear this one, you know, and probably get compliments and all that. This can be worn, you know, on a night out. This can be worn to the gym. It can be your daily scent. Probably the least, you know, the place where I don't see this one fitting will be something like an office. Maybe if your colleagues are young around you, then it's okay. But in a slightly more sterile environment, this probably is not the best fragrance for that kind of a case. But other than that, this is quite a versatile scent. Smells pretty similar to the original fragrance, offers nice quality and superb performance, and usually this can be found for a lot lower price than the original scent as well. So if you like sweet bubblegummy fragrances, Nitro Red is a great option. Now this next fragrance that I'm about to show you comes from the brand of Lattafa and their original Pride line. And at one point this used to be a fragrance that got talked about quite a lot. Nowadays I think the interest in that one seems to die a little bit, but I'm going to bring it back to life in a way. Again, as I said, it comes from the brand of Lattafa and it's called Ishq Al Shuk Silver. Now this fragrance is a clone of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky, which probably from the whole 1 Million line is the most freshest and the most versatile fragrance in that line of fragrances, and feels quite different to most other members in the 1 Million line. And Ishq Al Shuk Silver recreates that original scent quite nicely. It's fresh, citrusy in the opening, you'll get some tropical vibes, there's a pineapple note which feels sweet, kind of fresh as well. There's some pepperness in this one, there's a quite a bit of vanillic sweetness on the dry down. You'll get some woods and all that stuff. A very nice masculine fragrance that feels youthful, but that's at the same time doesn't feel like super youthful. Can be worn by slightly older gentlemen out there, and is very versatile and very likable. This can be worn pretty much throughout the year, and unlike Nitro Red, for example, this can easily be worn in the office as well as with any other places like a night out or a gym or whatever. It's a great little fragrance from the brand of Lattafa. The quality is nice because this is part of the Pride line, so it offers slightly higher quality and a little bit higher pricing, but also offers pretty decent performance without being anything special. The next one comes from the brand of Paris Corner, and it's called Cosmic Giardino. This one is a clone of a Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance, which is called Le Beau Paradise Garden. And to be honest, this is one of those fragrances that I can even call better than the original. Not as good as the original, but even better, because I've never been really that much into Paradise Garden. It just comes across too green for my taste, and the combination of the coconut sweetness and the green vibes that you can find in the original fragrance have never been one of my most favorite combinations of notes. But in here, this is more fruity. It's slightly less green, and for that reason I even find this one to be better than the original fragrance. It also has really nice performance, and from my experience this outperforms the original when it comes to, especially when it comes to projection. Total longevity may be pretty much on par with the original one, but this is a little bit sweeter and pushes a little bit better in the opening. So we're getting the Le Beau line, backbone of the Le Beau line with the coconut and vanillic sweetness. In here you'll get some of the greenness that you'll find in Paradise Garden. You'll find the fig note that is present in the Paradise Garden, but in here the fig note is more, it's stronger, it's more present. The greenness is slightly toned down, and that's pretty much what you get with the Cosmic Giardino. And again, personally, I do find this to be a very nice fragrance, a very nice release from Paris Corner. For those of you who like Paradise Garden, want something done in a similar style with nice quality and good performance, but let's say something a little bit more fruity and sweet. Now this next one is pretty interesting because you can call this one a clone of a clone, which is a strange thing to say, but nowadays we're even starting to see things like that. It comes from the brand of A Fragrance World, and it's called Nightclub. It looks like this, and the bottle design may seem somewhat familiar for you. For those who don't know, this is in a way mimicking the bottle design, the scent, and the name of Club de Nuit Intense Men from the brand of Armaf. Now, both this one and Club de Nuit Intense Men are cloning the same original fragrance, which is of course Creed Aventus. And to be honest, when I got this one, I was really curious to see what Fragrance World have done. They've done that in the past as well, mimicking Lattafas as well. Now they've done that with Armaf, and it's an interesting thing to see, an interesting sort of a trend to see with the Middle Eastern brands. So far, I think only Fragrance World have dared to do that, but I'm really curious to see if we're going to get more stuff like that in the future. Nightclub is actually a very nice fragrance that, in my opinion, smells of higher quality than what you get from let's say Club de Nuit Intense Men EDT nowadays. I think this is a better alternative of Creed Aventus if you're looking at Club de Nuit Intense Men EDT, because this has better quality in my opinion. Price wise it's pretty similarly priced, the performance is pretty similar as well, but overall if I have to choose right now between Club de Nuit Intense Men EDT and Nightclub from Fragrance World as a clone of Creed Aventus, with my experience I would definitely go with Nightclub from Fragrance World because I think it's that good. And again, this is an interesting clone of a clone in a way, which is just wanted to include this one in today's video. The next one comes from the brand of Zimaya. It's called a Body Opulent, and this one is a clone of YSL Y Elixir. And it's highly regarded as one of the best clones, if not the best clone of Y Elixir, and it definitely, I think, lives up to that title, because from what I've tried so far, this seems to smell the closest to the original fragrance. You're getting the Y scent profile with some more freshness, a bit of darkness on the dry down thanks to an agar oud note, with a bit of aromaticness thanks to a lavender note, the freshness, some fruity sweetness. It's an overall very I would say masculine, very easy to wear and very versatile fragrance, and probably along with nightclub. These are the two most versatile fragrances that I'm including in today's video. And especially if you put into perspective the price tag of this one, I got it for like 18 euros or something like that, and the original around here costs close to 100 euros. This is like 4 or 5 times cheaper, even though it has lower quality. Of course, I think this is as good as the original fragrance. The next one comes from the brand of Rayhaan, and it's called Rayhaan Lion. And right now this is probably my most favorite fragrance from the brand of Rayhaan. This, of course, is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male, and it's an absolute beast. First of all, when it comes to performance, this lasts for a very long time. I was really taken aback at the performance of this one. Very long lasting, hard projecting. This is also a beast when it comes to getting compliments. People like the way that this smells in the air. This is a straight up clone of Ultra Male, so you're getting some of the freshness and the aromatic nature of the original fragrance in the opening, and then you're getting that vanillic, creamy vanillic sweetness on the dry down that you'll find in the original fragrance, and this smells absolutely superb, and it was one of my best discoveries of 2025 so far. I love Ultra Male a lot, and although 9 PM used to be my most favorite clone of Ultra Male, right now that crown has been taken by Rayhaan Lion. And if you're looking for the best performing clone of Ultra Male, then definitely Lion is exactly that from my experience so far. The next one comes from the brand of Arabiat Prestige. It's called La Dida for Him. Has really nice, interesting bottle design. I'm not going to say exactly what this looks like. People can look at this a few different ways. This is an interesting mix between two famous scent DNAs. On one hand we have YSL Myself, and then on the other hand we have the Stronger With You DNA, and the end result of mixing those two fragrances is absolutely fantastic, especially for the current fall time that I'm in, where I live. It's sweet, it has a lot of those white florals, but they are toned down compared to the original fragrance, and instead of the original Myself, instead you're getting a little bit more of the signature sweetness of the Stronger With You line, which on its own is a crowd-pleasing scent, along with Myself also being a crowd-pleasing scent. The end result, in my opinion, is like a slightly more masculine take on the Myself DNA, because especially the original Myself I've always found to smell quite unisex because of the powdery feel of those white florals that you'll find in the original one. In here though, mixed with the vanillic and ambery sweetness, maybe a hint of the warmth of a Stronger With You line, like the chestnut and whatnot. The end result is a very nice fragrance that smells of super high quality and has a really nice performance. So this should be taken more as a Myself clone, and if you think of it like that, and the quality that it offers and the performance and the high compliment factor, I think it's as good as the original. And let's move on to the last two fragrances that I've included in today's video. Both of them are cloning two of my most favorite niche scents. The first one comes from the brand of Orientica, and it's called Royal Blue, and this one is a clone of Parfum de Marlis Layton, and it's probably my most favorite clone of Layton right now. Orientica have another great clone of Layton. In fact, maybe the two absolute best clones of Layton. Both come from the same brand for some reason, but they are a little bit different to each other. For example, that other one, which is called Exclusive Food Blue, is a slightly spicier version of Layton. This one is a little bit more fruity, a little bit more ambery, a little bit more vanillic, lacks a bit of the greenness of Layton, but overall this smells very similar to Layton. Both Orientica offerings actually offer absolutely fantastic quality. Both of them are really strong when it comes to performance. Exclusive Food Blue is a beast. Royal Blue is more on par with the original one when it comes to performance, but when you factor in the quality of this one, which is absolutely fantastic, and when you factor in the fact that this costs around about 40% of the price of Layton, at least where I live, this is as good as the original in my opinion. Nice, woody, fruity, vanillic, slightly green, slightly spicy scent profile. That's absolutely great for cold weather. Smells super nice, super festive for the holidays and all that. Superb stuff here from Orientica. And the last one again comes from the brand of French Avenue, and it's called Spectre Ghost. Another fragrance that used to be quite hyped up. I think I have the cup pointing the wrong way. This is how it's supposed to look. This is a clone of Nishane Ani, and in fact this is my scent of the day for today. And this is great. If you like vanillic fragrances, soft, creamy vanillic fragrances with a bit of citruses in the opening, like this smells like a vanilla cake with maybe a bit of citruses, a bit of lemon squeezed in on top. Just smells absolutely fantastic. This one is perfectly unisex in my opinion. The scent profile can be worn by pretty much anyone out there as long as they're enjoying vanilla based fragrances. The quality is superb. The performance is really good with this one. I haven't hadn't worn this one for a while, but I sprayed it like 6 or 7 hours ago and I can still pick the scent around me. So the performance is also very strong, especially after some maceration or maturation or whatever you want to call it. Initially when this was launched, I wasn't really a huge fan of the bottle design, at least when I saw them in photos and pictures online. But when I got the bottle in my hands, this actually looks quite nice and quite unique, and overall the quality is absolutely superb. Nowadays the prices have settled a little bit. This can be found for a very reasonable price, and overall I think it's as good as Ani itself. And so guys, in today's video I showed you a total of 10 clone fragrances that are as good as the original ones. I hope that you found today's video interesting or helpful or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.